me when I told her that night, she gave me that supportive, knowing look that some of you guys may have received that said, I hear what you're saying, and I don't believe it until I see it. And she was right. Because the very first meeting I attended after that, I joined. I signed the document, I gave them the fees, and I decided I'm going to be a part of this. And also, the very next meeting, the current president said to me, Michael, would you like to be the Vice President of Public Relations for Twin Bridges Toastmasters for the upcoming year? And I went home that evening and I said to Mary Margaret, guess what? And she said, you said you'd never be coming on through that club! Actually, you know her, some of you do, she would never do that. But she did remind me of what I'd said, that I would never do that. I was only going to do the bare minimum. But one of those champions of Toastmasters for me had asked me to serve as a club officer, and I'm so glad they did. And then another champion asked me later on, would you be the president of this club? And then another champion of Toastmasters asked me, would you be an area governor and a division governor? And all of these things were happening. And I'm saying, yes. And each time it happened, Mary Margaret said, you said you weren't going to do that. But she finally got to the point where she realized that I knew that unless I had fully engaged in this Toastmasters experience, it wasn't going to be as beneficial to... Who's our word master, grammarian? Did I say gonna?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a colloquialism, it's good.
Sorry for that little sidebar. That it was not going to be as important to me if I didn't get fully involved in it. So not only was I participating in all these contests, and my mentor was Gus Piercy. I was assigned Gus Piercy as my mentor. And so I'm entering these contests, and I'm going to district conferences, and I'm going to the training sessions. And along the way, I had the chance to meet other champions. Because at one of the conferences, Dale Smith was the speaker, was the keynote speaker for our conference. And Dale Smith doesn't mean anything to you unless some of you know Dale Smith. But the Dale Smith I'm referring to was the 1967 World Champion of Public Speaking for Toastmasters. And when I heard this old fart was going to be at the conference, I thought, what can this old guy possibly tell us that's going to be worth hearing? But Dale was a master after, this was in 2005. So after 40-some years of being a Toastmaster, he come in and he told us why we should be participating. Dale said, I've used my Toastmasters Club meetings as my personal speech laboratory for all of these years. And I thought, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We come to these meetings and we try things. We try it. If it doesn't work, kick it out. If it works and we want to modify it, we try it the next meeting. It's a laboratory. It's like a science laboratory where we can come in and just try things. And the good part about it is that even if I mess it all up, you're going to work with me to improve it. You're all going to support me in that role of being a person looking to improve. I thought, what a wonderful description of what Toastmasters is from this champion of Toastmasters. At a later conference, I had the opportunity to hear David Brooks. David Brooks was the 1990 World Champion of Public Speaking for Toastmasters. And what an awesome speaker David Brooks was. He's from Texas. He's got that southern drawl, and I really enjoy listening to it. But David told us another reason we should be actively engaged in Toastmasters. He said many people shy away from coming up here for the first time because they're afraid they won't be perfect. He said, you know what? There is no such thing as perfection. The only thing we can hope to do is achieve our own level of personal excellence. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense. If I'm sitting out here and I'm afraid to come up here because I don't think I'm going to be perfect, then I'll never come up here because I'll never be perfect. But I can come up here and try to get to the best that I can be on any given opportunity. My personal level of excellence. David Brooks also told us that we don't enter contests because we're the best. We become our best because we enter contests. Because we try. And that's what we get to do in Toastmasters each week. Then I had the opportunity to hear the 2000 World Champion of Public Speaking, Darren LaCroix. Any of you ever heard of Darren? He's a Canadian. And he told us about his journey from not being very funny, which I can relate to being an on-stage comedian, to being the world champion of public speaking. And Darren told us his motto for becoming better. 6 words. 6 words. Stage time, stage time, stage time. He said, unless you get up here and do it often, you're never going to be able to become your personal best, as David Brooks had described it to us. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I come to you today as a champion of Toastmasters, not the world champion of public speaking for Toastmasters, but someone who supports, understands, and believes in what we do here in Toastmasters. And I challenge you to use this as your own personal laboratory. Get the stage time that's available to us each week in Toastmasters. Realize that you're not perfect, but that if you come up here, you can achieve your own personal level of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, your speech laboratory awaits you. Now,